Today we're with a very, very special guest, local here to Roanoke. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Seth Brubaker. I'm with Home Restaurant, Food Truck.
So, kind of just to jump right on in, how did you come to want to have a food truck?
It's been my vision or my dream for years. I've been in the restaurant industry for about 20 years, and it's just been a dream of mine. I got married about 9 years ago to my wife, and it had always been something I always talked about, but not something that she had really signed off on. My dream is really to own my own restaurant. The food truck is just the step towards the final goal. But yeah, my after a few years, my wife just one day saw I was miserable with the job I was currently in and said, "You've been dreaming about it forever. Let's just pull the trigger and go for it." So we took out a small loan and away we went.
Very cool. How did you land on the type of cuisine that you have?
I'm sorry, that cut out. I didn't hear you at all. You broke up really bad.
Oh, sorry. How did you land on the type of cuisine that you have on your food truck?
Oh, okay. So yeah, I've been a practicing sushi chef for a few years now. I was classically trained in the kitchen as a sushi chef or to assistant to a sushi chef. And this was kind of in my tenure of being in restaurants in general. So I picked up that skill trade, and I've been practicing kind of along the way as the different businesses I've worked with to kind of add that to their repertoire or build their business using that. And decided one day that I wanted to apply everything I'd learned towards my own business. So here we are.
Um, what's the trick to making good sushi and it turning out correct?
The sushi itself, in my opinion, the trick to any good sushi starts with the rice. You've got to have the rice down. You know, fresh fish is fresh fish. The fresher it is, the better it is. But the skill trade comes into the rice making and the preparation of that rice. So that's the big caveat of it. Really having that skill to be able to produce really excellent, and then knowing the balances of the fish and what goes with fish. You know, every fish has a different flavor profile and a different texture, and being able to apply those textures and flavor profiles to something like sushi it requires some skill, it requires some knowledge, but it's really interesting and really fun and actually very, very healthy for you. So we're applying that to the home food truck. We're actually going to be doing sushi tacos, which is kind of a American mix between, sushi and Americana. So I'm using my experience um, from the sushi side to the American side and kind of mixing them all together on the truck.
Very cool, very cool. So, um, you know, I've always been a huge fan of sushi, and it seems like, especially here in Roanoke, no matter where you go, everybody's got their different flair, so to speak, on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's argumentative too where sushi actually came from. People originate sushi that they came from Japan, but there's conversations that say it potentially came from Korea. Now it's like it comes from wherever you're at. The sushi, wherever it originated from, it has unfolded and changed so much over the years and grown, and they've mixed flavors in from all across the countries. And I just wanted to have the liberty to be able to do the same thing. Take if it's a great Mexican flavor and I can make that work inside of a sushi roll or a sushi taco, or one of our new products called a Dragon Ball. I'm going to try to pull that off and make it work. So.
So, when did you officially launch the truck?
We opened last October in 2021, and I've been shut down for about the last 6 months. This my story is crazy on getting this truck going. It's everything that could go wrong has gone wrong at least once in the truck. When we got the idea that we were going to do the truck, I'd already been building a plan for years. So it didn't take much for me to turn around and pull the trigger because I'd been thinking about it and writing it down and building the whole concept just as a hobby more than anything. So, I went and we got the loan, and within a few days, I had already been tracking trucks and knew which one was the best one I wanted to get out there. Found one in Atlanta, Georgia. The next day, jumped on a train so I could get to Atlanta, Georgia, so it couldn't get bought out from underneath me. Bought it, stayed the night, put new tires on the truck, and then the next day started driving it back from Atlanta, and about halfway there, it broke down. Just died on the side of the road. Completely died. Would not turn over, wouldn't do anything. Long story short, and a big chunk of change later, and another 24 hours in Atlanta, 12 hours staying on the side of a road, waiting on a tow truck. Literally 12 hours I waited for a tow truck. Twice trucks pulled up behind my truck, and I felt like they were going to rob me. And when I got out of the truck, they left. Just an absolutely crazy night. Got the truck back, got it running, drove it the rest of the way home, felt great about it. We're pushing to, at this point it's October, weather's already getting colder. So we're really pushing to try to get open for a couple months while the weather was still good. So we got open, and after a big ordeal on getting open, learning the ins and the outs and the requirements of actually getting the truck started is a lot more complicated than I thought it would be. But even at one point, a certain law official tried to tell me that part of my truck wasn't even legal. I had to go, and I was getting ready to basically fold in and just pay another handsome sum to get the problem fixed on my truck. And luckily, a friend of mine knew the law well enough to say, check the code book. The code book says you can have it that way. And me having to literally go back and show the code book to the official saying, hey, we're in code, we're able to open. So that delayed us. Finally, we get open, we get the truck going, we're open for a day. It's a great day. We sell out completely. Everyone's raving about the food. We've got people posting all over social media about it. It's, fantastic day. Next day I go to open and the generator dies on the truck. I'm like, oh, great. The generator died. Luckily, because Scratch Biscuit and Nathan Webster over at Scratch let me park in their parking lot when Scratch isn't open, I basically was able to just plug into their power and keep rolling. No problem. We're going to swing with the punches. We're going to keep going. We're going to make this thing happen. And went to a great Channel 7 news interview, and driving away from the news interview, the truck dies on the side of the road again. This time it's the engine, and the engine is completely gone. So for the last 6 months has been 2 months of waiting on a new engine because shipping and receiving and all that, then putting the new engine in. It put us back 6 months. We were open for 3 weeks, about 9 days total. We did one huge event for Old Salem Brewery, which was fun. And then I was like, I have to go back to work. I have to get my job back, and I can't, I've got to work, I've got to bring in money to be able to afford paying our own bills. And, I've got 2 kids. So went back to work, and just has been basically like waiting for the completion. So now the engine's fixed, the generator's fixed. I've ordered new refrigeration because in the process of all of that, I lost 3 refrigeration units. At one point when the generator died, it took out a freezer and another one died over the winter while we were closed. So it has been such a roller coaster to get back to where we're at right now and actually say, hey, we are opening. Like people have been saying, well, you got your stuff back. When are you opening? I'm like, nope, I'm not putting a date on it. I'm not putting a date on it until I have rode this horse and guaranteed that we're definitely going to be able to pull this off. So we're finally there. And yeah, we're excited. I'm a nervous wreck about it because, I'm like, what else is going to happen? So I'm literally right now just in the process of trying to find some kitchen help. And then we're ready to rock and roll, make this truck thing happen.
Yeah,
So
sounds like
it's exciting.
And right now, of course, throughout all the trials and tribulations, the only way to go is up.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean at this point, I have a working generator. It's basically been rebuilt. Got a brand new engine in it. When it broke down the first time, I had to put all new electrical in it. New refrigeration on the inside. It's almost like a new truck. So the frame is the only thing really lasting that hasn't been really touched. So as long as that's not going to break, I think we're looking pretty good. Nice part is the 9 days that was open, I was able to really evaluate what I was going to do on the truck. I was able to look at the menu. I was able to look at how fast I was able to get food out there. So I've dialed it back. We're going to have a whole new menu. We're going to treat it more like a food truck instead of like a mini kitchen. I'm not going to have 20 items on the menu. I might have 4 or 5, but they're going to be great items. They're going to be diverse. And we're hoping that everyone can find a reason to come and eat there, even if they don't like sushi too. So we're going to have some fun options. And the nice part about it is the menu doesn't have to stay the same. If something isn't selling or some people don't like it, then the next week we open, we'll just change it. So it's nice to be able to have the liberty. It's the whole part of the dream for me. It's the whole part of the joy for me, and where I wanted to go is just be able to have a creative side and no one to be able to tell me that's not traditional and you're not supposed to do it that way. I'm like, I know what the tradition is and I know how to make it traditionally, but I don't want to make it traditionally. I want to make it my style. I want to make it use all the good points of Japanese and Korean and Chinese and all the good points of American and put them in a truck and sell them and have fun with it. So it looks like we're heading in that direction. June 17th, we should be doing a really soft open. We'll reopen on the 18th and do it again, and then we'll do it the following Monday and kind of reconvene, kind of fix any technical issues that we may see, and then a week later we'll do it again starting July 1st. So
oh yeah,
yeah,
and I know
promising.
The food truck scene around here in the past 2-3 years has just exploded. I know there have been a few that have kind of died off, but
it's booming.
For the most part.
Well, it's hard too because even running your food truck, you have to be Serve Safe certified. You have to really know how to serve safe food. You have to be practicing it. You have health inspections, you have fire inspections, you have fire marshals, you have all those things that you would have in a normal restaurant. It's just in however big your truck is. So it's still not easy by any means. If you want something on the truck, you don't have a team of people to put the stuff on the truck. You have your family or your friends or you to do it. So it's a lot of physical work, but I feel like it's going to be rewarding. And with the amount of need, I have tons of locations right now that really have already reached out and said they would love to have me. I just want to make sure I can do it right before I start hitting these locations. And I don't want to tick off the neighborhood and not serve enough people or run out of food. So once we kind of get a gauge in a couple weeks of running, I'll start scheduling daytime work and we'll spread out.
And I think that for us here in Roanoke, for us here in Roanoke, especially because there's so many different venues, from the craft brewery scene to, places like Scratch Biscuit and a few others that, welcome the local entrepreneur. And, that's always great to see collaborative efforts, no matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you do the soft open, for people who don't understand, is that where you just serve a few items and you have a limited time frame, or
No, we will assume that we're going to run out of food at some point. I don't know. We may not. We may get in there and it's soft open. I'm just not planning on doing any kind of major marketing. I don't care if the word's out and people share it, because that in itself is going to bring a certain amount of people. But I'm not going to put out any extra marketing to try to reach out to new customers or people that don't know me. I've got a decent following anyways, just from the previous restaurants that I've worked at, and the people that have eaten my sushi. They know the quality that's there, and they know that it's going to be on the truck. So I feel like that if I go out and I do a full blown ad and I market it and I hit it up, then I could bite off more than I could chew. So the people that know, and I won't put any effort into finding extra for the next run. It might get to the point too where that's enough. I'm busy enough to where I don't really have to market, and that would be a pipe dream if I didn't have to spend extra on that. But the truck itself is a marketing tool. You can't miss it. It's bright green, purple writing. You drive by it, you don't miss it. It's basically a P30 step van, so it's the same thing. One of the big UPS or FedEx trucks that drive down the road, they're huge. It's exactly what it is. So it's hopefully it will work out to where I really don't necessarily need to ever market, but we will have a grand opening. I haven't put a date on that yet. And then after the grand open, it's basically at that point full tilt, and hopefully I'll have a really good gauge of what is working and what works for the neighborhoods that I'm in, and how I treat a neighborhood or how we operate in a neighborhood might be different from how we operate at a festival. We might have 2 items at a festival instead of 6, just for speed's sake. There's only so much storage that you can put on a truck too without having to bring extra. And then, the other half of it is we do catering is what I like doing most. I love catering. We like getting involved with the big groups, and did an event for Old Salem Brewery, which is a lot of fun, and catered that. That's where my heart and soul is at. I really like the catering side of the business. I like to be able to plan it. I like to be part of those big special events and really do something nice. And I feel like sushi has really come a long way. It's a great add-on to events. Hey, I know this guy that can bring sushi to your wedding or to your office or your business, and it's a premium price, but at the same time, it's something you can't really go down the street and get. And if somebody wanted straight traditional Japanese sushi, I could very well produce that. Or if they wanted something crazy and wild on the menu, we can do that too. So that's where it gets really fun for me. I like to be able to schedule things out and really plan them. The truck is kind of here and now, and what you can get. You don't really have storage space to store 3 months worth of food. You order what you need to for that week, and if you need to order again, you try to get it then. But at the same time, you have to be smart about what you're doing, because your inventory, you're not in a restaurant. You're running out of a truck.
Yeah, and I feel like when it comes down to the price point, that most people, myself included, will pay more for a good quality item, regardless of what it is.
Yeah, and people. The nice part about it is, people that come to a food truck, they usually understand that it's usually a little bit higher, a little bit more premium price, but probably a little bit better quality, because they're putting focus on less items but better quality per item, or at least they should be on a truck. So it's kind of nice that with the sushi end of it, I won't feel like I have to, I won't have to feel like I need to have it too low to bring people in. I think people will assume somewhat that it's probably going to be a little bit higher price, but it's basically, rice in itself takes 2 hours to make. No matter the batch that you're trying to do, it's about 2 hours if you're making a big batch of the rice. So that alone, just on the rice side, there takes a lot of prep time ahead of time. There takes a lot of work ahead, a lot of really fine, really good knife skills, and whether you're producing for one person or you're producing for 50 people, it's pretty much almost the same amount of prep. You've got just the quantity changes on how much. So it's still technical, but it pays off when you eat it and you can actually taste that you're getting something that's super, super fresh, super well made, really delicate, but really flavorful, and not feel guilty about it. Most of the time, the items that I want to serve on the truck are going to be focused on some really good, healthy ingredients. I feel like it's important. I feel like we want to make sure that when we have the truck running, that there will always be an option for a vegan or a vegetarian there that they can get. And it's pretty easy to do for sushi. And especially just having the ability to carry some cool ingredients that will go a long way. So we're trying to make the truck extremely allergy safe, where you can bring your kids that have allergies and know that the ingredients, know where they come from, know that somebody's actually paid attention to make sure that those are safe for your kids and whatnot. I've got 2 kids and family that have major allergies, so it strikes home for me. And then just being able to cater to anybody. I want people to know, hey, there's that sushi truck, and I had the best taco of my life on that truck. Something to that effect. So we're gonna get there. Just gonna take a little trial and error, and I'm gonna take it a lot slower.
What you said basically it rings true. Is word of mouth is the very best advertisement you can have. Even if it's because word of mouth can be a little slow to get out, but when it does, one person turns into 3 and so on. So
yeah, it's very
with
true.
In regards
very
to
true.
Everything we've gone over, with the soft opening and then doing another that Friday, and then continuing that, are you just going to do maybe 1 or 2 days just to see how things work out until you're ready for it to be full blown?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just right now hiring is always a complication. It is what it is in the restaurant world. I'm looking to bring some kitchen staff in, but it might be the first week I have to do it primarily solo. I've got plenty of people that want to help on the front side, but um, getting the kitchen help just to be able to support inside the kitchen is a little complicated. But
I know we're planning on getting together and doing some kind of YouTube video. This will be posted on YouTube as well, but I'm really excited to see how things are made in person. Oh, you're
all
fine.
that is breaking up
So
right
I
there.
know
Very good.
we're planning on
I didn't
getting
hear you.
together within the next week or so, hopefully, to shoot a YouTube video. I'm really excited to kind of see how things are made in.
Hmm. Sure. Yeah. Yeah,
So
I'll have some product there for sure.
you're on Instagram, I know. Are you on Facebook or any other social media sites out there?
Yeah, so I'm on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. They're all under Homebrew Bistro. I think Instagram is like home underscore brew underscore bistro, and that's BRU. But you can find it if you just look up home on Facebook or Instagram. They pop up
Very
pretty
cool.
high in the
So
search list right now.
I will definitely post. Yeah, go ahead. I was going to ask you that as
I
well.
also have a website as well. Yeah, yeah. So the website is www.homebrewbistro.com, and it's BRU as in my last name, Brubaker. Yeah, and all of that, if you go to the website, it'll link you to the Facebook, Instagram, and take you anywhere you want to go from there, as well as pictures and the story. And then I'm getting
Very
ready to
cool.
update
Now,
it
when
with
you when
menu
you're
items and
full
whatnot as
blown
well.
ready to
So.
open and Will you be posting where you're going to be at on, Instagram, Facebook, and all that? So that's very cool.
Yep. Yep. So the website's pretty cool. If you just go, actually the truck has a giant barcode on it, or a QR code. So you can actually scan the truck and it'll take you to the website. And on the main page, there's a calendar. And if you look at the date or click on the date, it will tell you where I'm at on that date. So it kind of will give you a
Very cool.
ETA and a game
So I
plan
have one
as
last
to what
question
we're doing each day.
for you
It's
on
cool.
the menu items that you're gonna bring. Are there anything, or is there anything kind of unique to you? So on your new menu,
You broke up there.
is
What
there
was
going to
that
be
again?
anything kind of unique that you bring to the table that has flair or um, creative ideas that came from you to kind of just put it all together?
Well, the one item that has really kind of sparked some interest, which is crazy because I made it by accident. One of the nights that we were doing a test cook, I accidentally over seasoned the rice in the process, and I added too much sugar to the batch, which made the rice super super tacky and super super sweet. Well, not super sweet, but just the consistency of it was a lot. It was off. I couldn't really serve it, so I decided I was going to make some fun of it and just play around and make something out of it instead of just tossing it in the trash. So I made what we call Dragon Balls on the truck, and which are kind of the feature item. Um, they are a tempura fried rice ball with different types of ingredients on the inside. And because of the consistency of the rice mixture, when you tempura fry the rice ball, it basically crispens up on the outside but leaves the inside just slightly warm. So you've got this nice cool or nice hot crunch when you eat them, and then you get this spicy inside or whatever ingredients were put on the inside. So I made these, and I've been letting people sample them as I go, as we've been kind of playing around with the menu, and it seems to be that's going to be one of the highlighted items, and it was all done by accident. It's kind of hilarious. Um, we were even getting ready to we were even going to do them, and we served them up one night just on a whim, and people were just raving about them, and I was like, well, I guess we're kind of stuck making these Dragon Balls now. So it's really interesting. They're going to be something else. And they've got a lot of flavor. We're doing a few different styles of them and kind of playing around to see which ones sell the best. But
Definitely, definitely.
should be
Well,
good.
I
We're kind
appreciate
of
you joining
excited
me
for
on the
people to try it.
podcast. Can't thank you enough for doing that, and of course, we wish you all the best, and we're definitely going to come out because both
Hmm.
Tyler and I are crazy about sushi. So
Thank you. Well, I'm sure you'll like the sushi tacos. I plan on having some regular sushi on the truck too, or kind of the traditional stuff. It'll be kind of one of those items that, while I'm still working the truck, because the whole idea is to either get, don't just have one truck or don't just have one location, is to, eventually build into a brick and mortar or start a fleet of trucks or something bigger than just the one truck. So the idea is to be able to still produce something on the truck that doesn't necessarily require me to be on it. Uh, the traditional sushi is really hard to train. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of practice. And it's not something I would have really time to do, to be training and practicing that. So I had to come up with a menu that was going to allow me to let anyone run the truck or someone with some restaurant skill or some ability. so that we can have multiple trucks or, expand the business in that regards. So if I'm on the truck, I will always have the ability to whip up a sushi roll or two. But if we're getting our butts handed to us, I might not be able to stop and make sushi rolls for somebody, but it's always an option. The ingredients will be on the truck. We just hope that the sushi tacos will be a hit, and if they don't, we'll figure something else out to do. So we'll also have some poke bowls and some of the healthier side, like we'll do some hydroponic lettuce and some sushi ingredients on some cool
Definitely,
salads
I'm
as
looking
well.
forward to it.
So it should be good. Should be really, really good.
Well, I definitely want to thank you again, and I guess we'll be talking later on this week. All right, we'll
You're
do
welcome.
it. Have a great night.
Yep. Just let me know.
Yes, sir. All right, bye-bye.
Talk to you later. You too.